Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whenever you are. Welcome to the community live stream. My name is Chuck Tomasi from ServiceNow with my bow tie that I got from France. That's right. It is December 11th, 2018, and this is the show that takes you through our ServiceNow community that you see behind me and gives you not only the answers, but the thought process, the journey of discovery, what happens behind those questions to get you those answers. Sometimes we know, sometimes we don't know, sometimes they work as a team. Good morning, Rupam. Good to see you there. A lot of email exchanges with you recently, and very much appreciate it. Thank you for joining today. If you are watching live, let me do the standard pre-roll thing. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and click the like button if you find something useful, entertaining, you've learned something, you find it helpful, you want to share it with a colleague. If that's the case, click that like button so that others know that that information is there. If you're watching this on the community later, click the helpful button. That's another good way to let people know that something informative is there. Comments are always appreciated. If you are adding comments to the chat, then please keep them to hello, you missed a semicolon, the short discussions. If you've got a question, before I get to that, let's go. We also do this on Twitch if you choose to watch over there. Some people do. It's been chugging along just fine. Appreciate that very much. We simulcast this on both YouTube and Twitch, so whatever is your preference, that's cool with me. The alerts come in. If you've got the mobile application with your alerts turned on, your notifications on YouTube, you will get those notifications when this stream goes live. And of course, any other publications on the YouTube channel. We have an Ask the Expert series. We've got Tech Now, which I'll get into in just a little bit, is going on a little later. If you've got something more than just the standard questions, or excuse me, the hello, how's the weather, where you're from. I love to know where you're from, by the way. It kind of gives me this visual Google map in my head of putting pins on there. We had someone from Morocco. We had someone from Singapore. We've got lots of people from India. Thank you very much. The UK, I know that the time of day is not conducive to a lot of West Coast people in the US. It's only 5 a.m. when I start this stream in these winter months. So apologies if you're not awake, although some people are. I don't know if they're staying up late or they're getting up early. That's pretty cool. Good morning, Paulo. Good morning, Rupam. Rupam is in India. That explains why we're exchanging emails at this crazy hour. Thank you very much. Where was I going? That's the community. If you've got a question, please be sure to post it there. Be sure to give details about what your question is. The process, the business problem you're trying to solve is probably one of the most helpful things you can include, instead of just saying, hey, how can I query these records? Help us understand why you're querying the records. What is the business requirement? What is the driver? What is the use case behind that? So that we can give you the right technical solution, because maybe writing a script isn't the right thing to do. There may be a table that's already out there. There may be an API that helps us make this easier on you. So just getting a technical solution is not enough in my book. You have to get the right solution and understand what the problem is. And if you don't understand before posting in the community, go find out, because odds are somebody's going to challenge you on that. It's the best way to be a helpful consultant, to be a helpful advisor to those that you're trying to serve. So there are separate subforums in there broken out, typically by, let me bring that up on the screen, typically by product. So IT service management, IT operations management. Be sure to select one of those and post your question in the appropriate place so that you get the best visibility to have it resolved. That's it. Good morning, Carol. Good to see you. Good to see you. And we will move right along with, where were we? We were on the developer community, which is over here. Developer.servicenow.com, developer portal. Developer.servicenow.com is where you can go to get a free personal developer instance, free learning plans, free scripting API, and knowledge to all of the meetups and events that are happening for developers, which you can also find over here at meetup.com/pro/ServiceNow Dev Program is where you can find those. We've got meetups all over the world. You can see from this map plenty of meetups around the globe. Apparently we go around the globe twice. There's one in New Zealand. See, because if you keep scrolling like this, I'm sorry, this is something I love to do once in a while. Like, how many Australias are there? 13,400 members as of this December 11th, 2018, and 50 chapters. We are working on increasing that with your help. If there is an area you would like to cover that is not on the map, please reach out to us. Let us know that you'd like to start a chapter. We will help support you in that. But this is your developer meetup. This is your content. This is not something that we're going to tell you what you must do and what you must not do. Well, there's, of course, some guidelines. We don't want you going out bowling every Saturday and calling that a developer meetup. That wouldn't work. Rupam asks, are you coming to India? Not anytime soon that I'm aware. I will let you know if that situation changes. There may be opportunities in the future. We'll have to wait and see. Anything's possible. The career climate around ServiceNow seems to be a bit like the weather. People say if you don't like the weather, stick around a few minutes, it'll change. Yeah, that's pretty much what it's like. It's not that I don't like my job. That didn't come out quite right. It's my current career situation may change at ServiceNow any minute. So anyway, I was off track there. We did the meetups. Let's do knowledge. Yes, knowledge is coming. And I'm going to put that away for just a second so that my face doesn't wind up in an inappropriate place on that graphic. Knowledge is available for registration at knowledge.servicenow.com. May 5th through 9th, I believe is what it says up on the screen in little font. I've got I could make this graphic a little better for this visualization. But you can register now over at knowledge.servicenow.com. The sessions are being submitted. Thank you very much. Call for papers has been extended, and I believe I have that information right there. Yes, call for content has been extended to the 14th. That is this Friday. 3 more days to get your call for content in there. If you are interested, there are a number of spots still available. I just had a conversation last night with Martin Barkley, who runs the Developer Theater. Could use some more short sessions. If you want to do a 30-minute session, think of a compelling topic. Think of a story that you can tell that nobody else can. In particular, we're looking for stories around virtual agent, agent intelligence, some of the newer technologies that we've got, Flow Designer, Integration Hub, compelling stories that, again, only you can tell. Sorry, I got a bit of a sneeze that's kind of hinting at coming on. I don't want to sneeze in front of the camera, but if it happens, it happens. Live broadcast, what are you going to do? So Developer Theater, go to that URL you see on the bottom and submit your session. I highly encourage it. You get selected, you get a free pass to knowledge. So that means you just got to pay for the hotel and the flight over, and you're there, unless you're within driving distance like I am. Still debating whether I'm going to drive or fly, but we'll see about that. Knowledge is open. Call for speakers. Last chance to get your registration. We've got about 2.5, 3 hours left before our next Tech Now session starts. bit.ly/TN59reg, where we're going to talk about agent intelligence and how you can apply it to speed up your process to get that machine learning stuff going. What is agent intelligence and why do you want to employ it in your organization to get things done quicker? It's not to put people out of work, it's to put those existing people to work on higher value things rather than triaging, categorizing, prioritizing, assigning groups. That's just no fun. You can use agent intelligence to train based off of existing customer service management, incident records, any legacy record where you've got, I'm not going to blow the content. I'm going to leave that for Matt. Matt Train is our guest speaker. His lovely mug is down here. Let me see if I put that away. There he is. Great name, great picture, great guy. A lot of good information in his head about agent intelligence. So that is where we're going with that. Let me bring that back, and we also have any script that we are writing today. If it comes up, if it gets down to writing code, which I have something in the backlog that may prove a nice exercise, we'll put that in GitHub at the URL you see there. Everything is organized by a dated folder, so if we get script today, it will be 2018-12-11. So year, month, day format, so that they sort chronologically. You're not looking around for some crazy American way of sorting dates. Let's not do that. That's no fun. And putting words in there never works. I don't know. I get a little pedantic when it comes to auto-sorting files. With that, let's get going. It is 10 minutes past the hour, and we are going to go into the community. This is community.servicenow.com that I mentioned before. Let's ring that bell a few times, shall we? Nothing in the inbox to start out with. I'm going to start with some unreplied questions. If that well runs dry, we'll look elsewhere and see what we've got. I am a specialist in the platform, custom applications integration, so you'll see me migrate towards questions and answers around that topic. If I see other things that pique my interest that I may be able to help with or I want to learn from, you can subscribe to the conversation and do that. If I'm skipping over things, it's not because I don't like you. It's because I don't have anything to offer in that area, but I'm interested in learning more. As I'm doing in my day job right now, I'm learning about customer service management by poking around. Same technique that I employ here. Open up the app, try something out. If I don't understand it, let's go find out what's happening on the back end. Same kind of thing. Okay, lubricate those vocal cords so we can get to the first question. How to update existing project dates / during, after updating the project management schedule. Don't know, not a PPM PPS person. Import set edge encryption. Let's take a look at this. I know a little bit about both of those. Currently, we are planning to implement an inbound REST API to import data into ServiceNow with edge encryption. Can you please let me know if we can configure an import set REST API to pass through the payload into ServiceNow via I don't know why I want to say edge encryption. The key point about edge encryption, I am going to reply to this. The key point to using edge encryption is that all traffic must go through the edge proxy. If it doesn't, you cannot interact with the encrypted data. So if your endpoint is something like HTTPS, your instance here, an interesting case, instance servicenow.com /API / your scope, SNC, CLS, get record. Actually, we could probably do, it's going to be a script address API, so save record. Then you would have to point it to your proxy as HTTPS, I'm going to make this up, edge proxy, let's do this, edge proxy here, .servicenow.com, no, not ServiceNow, your organization, your org.com. This is a good question. It's going to have a port number. I'm trying to remember how Edge redirected that. API X SNC. I'm going to verify this with our Edge guy. Save record. I need to verify this. Exact syntax, exact URL format. All right. I know just the man to call. Next, create HR profile using existing user. I have a philosophical issue with copying users. This comes up periodically, and it's usually from an efficiency standpoint of, hey, I had employee X leave and employee Y is coming to take their place, or we're expanding the staff and employee Y needs the same access as employee X. Well, this happened a number of times at my old organization, and when you had people who stuck around for 20 years like I did, they would copy employee X, let's say I'm employee X, and copy the rights and roles and entitlements and all that stuff to employee Y. And employee X, well, I've been in a number of different roles, and those roles don't always get taken away when they're supposed to. So 10 years after I've left something, people are still asking me questions. Hey, can you look into this and service that and log into this system and fix this? Do you really want to give that brand new employee those same roles? And it needs a review process, okay? I should have been disentitled. What's the right word? Get those roles, entitlements taken away when I left that role. But also, the new employee should be verified. It should, if I were to write this process, it would say, all right, if you're going to copy everything from X to Y, copy it from Chuck to Sandra. Let's say Sandra's the new employee who's coming in. And it needs a review process to say, is this truly accurate for what Sandra needs? And they're going to look at this thing and go, oh my God, we don't even use that system anymore. Why does Sandra doesn't need that? Oh man, Chuck had this special project back in 2005. Sandra doesn't need that. It doesn't even exist anymore. So have somebody review those. If you're going to rely on security, this is an HR profile, but the same thing exists for other areas. If you're going to have this copy process to be, I'm going to be flat out, if you're going to be lazy about it, you're going to have either you're going to pay for it on the back end because people are having access to things they shouldn't, or you're going to have to review it on the front end to ensure they get the right things started up. Steve says, good morning. We usually build users as templates, not being used as the user so per se, but as a template, the account that are often disabled. That's a great idea. You have these template roles or template personas and say, I'm hiring a new database administrator. These are the basics of a database administrator. I'm hiring a new accountant temp. These are the basics. It takes a while to set up those templates. And again, you're going to have to review them, perhaps annually, to make sure that things are right. Otherwise, you're going to keep creating accounts and people say, well, I can't access the HR system. Oh, that's right. We added the HR system after we built this template. So yeah, you're going to have to do some maintenance on this as you would with anything else. So check those out to make sure that you're doing it right. So, wow, I got into a lot of it there. Somebody's probably already answered this. I wanted to create a user for existing user, but only HR profile should be created using existing user. I tried to add conditions on out-of-box script include HR_profile. Be careful if you're modifying out-of-box script includes. There are ways to extend these safely so that you can make use of the functionality that's in one already. Perhaps I'll cover that in a future episode. But modifying the out-of-box ones means you now own it. If an update comes along, you're going to have to review that update. You have gone into the realm of customization. Okay, that's usually a bad word in most organizations. So configuration, extension of those objects is a better approach. Okay, script include before changes. And of course, we're going to get a big, long script include here, which I'm not going to read. Okay. Let me just see, is there a copy user in here? That is before. And I thought we now had preview image in here. Now this one's going to download. Let's take a look at what that image says. He's going to just show the record not found error message, I suspect. Come on. Where is it? Where is it? HR profile already exists for this user. Data policy exception. User is mandatory. HR profile, blah, 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 has been... I don't know the table structure well enough in HR to know what you can and cannot copy. Let me take a quick glance at the script include. Unfortunately, when you paste script includes in like this, all the indentation is lost, which makes it very difficult to read. Creates the HR profile and sysuser record for HR case. Create profile from parameters, HR table profile. I love this way of defining table names, by the way, in your script includes or elsewhere. HR util fill in from map. There's script include after changes. Yeah, this one's going to get a little deep. Needs some study time, partly because of that indentation is driving me a little crazy. Yes, Rapam is correct. You can override the functions if you do an extension of that object. There's a way to do that in JavaScript. You can define your own script include and then say, this is my extension for it. You can still make exactly the same as tables, right? Tables extend and you get the fields from the base table. You can do that with JavaScript classes. You want to play around with that? I've got it coming up in another series. I don't want to steal content from my other series at this point. I am doing a series on learn JavaScript on the ServiceNow platform. The intent is to get people who don't know JavaScript, either have done other languages or have never done another language. And we're starting out very, very simple with statements and syntax and variables, just real basic stuff. And we will get into objects and script includes and that kind of thing. I'm not teaching you the content from the scripting learning plan or the scripting course. That's kind of stealing our own intellectual property. But I want to get you to the point where you are comfortable engaging with that content and understanding what you're looking at. So that's the intent of that. Coming up soon. Hopefully we should see videos published in the next few days. I hope. All right, let's go back to, we can take business rule issue. Not sure why this is an ITSM, but let's take a look. We have a business rule that is set up to change the incident state when a public reply is added to the incident. However, we have a condition added that adds to the rule so that when an ITIL user updates the incident state does not change. The rule setup is as follows. Let me read that again. To change the incident state when a public reply is added to the incident. However, we have a condition added that adds to the rule when an ITIL user updates the incident so that it doesn't change. Okay, it's before update, which sounds about right if you're updating the current record. State is pending and public reply changes. I don't know what public reply changes. Sounds like it's a comment, a journal field maybe. The idea is when the ITIL agent puts in an update into the incident, the state does not change, but now for some reason is not working. Condition has role ITIL or caller ID is this user or current watch list. They're in the current watch list. So you want it to update. Set value field state in progress. I would start with debug business rules and see if it's running. Yes, this is happening because actions and script do not work together. Really? I know that the conditions work together. You have to have, if you're setting the condition through the condition builder and the conditions field, it's going to AND those two things together. But it doesn't look like he's doing that. Oh yeah, state is pending and public reply changes. I would add that to this just so it's one easy statement. Either of one work at a time, state like this. Oh, backend value of in progress. Let's change that. Remove the action and set the state in the value script bar. Okay, so hey, learn something today. If you're using actions, well, they're not using a script, they're just using the condition off the advance. I would have thought this would have worked, but okay. Interesting. You know what? I don't want to lose this, so I'm going to put that because let's not lose this. I'll put it in my links for today. I'll format later. There's my personal developer instance. We haven't even gone there yet. Good stuff to know. It makes sense. I mean, you're either doing things in a simplified format using the conditions and the actions, or you go advanced and deal with it there. I have rarely, on rare occasion, I have coupled the condition builder with the conditions, but it always seems to be when I'm running a script as well. If you're not sure if the business rule is running, okay, debug business rules and go here to see if it's working. In their case, I would go to debug business rule details. Let's go debug business rule other way. Okay, I'm going to take a picture, throw that into their screen, just because I was there. Anyway, find that out. Yeah, when in doubt, might as well be a little helpful if can't move the conversation forward because I already seem to have that. When in doubt, always go to debug business rules and see if A, it is running, and B, it is doing what I expected. the details version of the module. That'll work. Module shows you field value changes. And paste that in. Yeah, field type not supported. We haven't fixed that yet. But yet, there's the image. Okay. Your output, whoa, finger day. Output will appear at the bottom of the list/form after the BRs are done running. You never know. Some people don't know how to debug business rules, so I will show you. If I go to debug business rules, I'm going to use the detailed one just to give you an example of what's happening here. And let's take an incident, because that's our favorite table to pick on. When you click that module, nothing happens. It appears that nothing happens. Okay, that's interesting. Script execution available here. I never noticed that for the scripty modules. Let's see what happens. Very cool. Somewhere, I haven't found out where. I was doing a demo on Friday for Forrester. I think I mentioned this. It went very well. Somewhere in the process, one or two of these came up because as I was doing my import and as I was doing my other things, maybe it was virtual agent, I don't know. All of a sudden, debug business rules got turned on. Like, what is this? I don't know if somebody's got a rogue statement in a script include somewhere, but it was kind of frustrating. Anyway, back to incidents. Let's take an open one. And I think we have to first go to resolve. Yes, I have a client script that's still running out there. I set it to resolve. It says, go fill in the mandatory fields on the resolution information. I say permanently demo. Going to save that. So up on the menu, click save. It saves it. State is now 6. That's a lovely thing to do. And down below, way down here underneath the form, I have this output. Let me put that away so it shows up a little better. Maybe I can make it a little larger for you. Yeah, that'll work, just for this demo anyway. And I can see anything that starts with a triple equals in there. It says, I'm skipping this. Your condition was not satisfied. And it says right there, your condition was the session is interactive and this is not an admin or they have user admin. Cool, not touching it. All right, that was for the business rule. That was a before query business rule for the user query. So I don't have a before query business rule filtering out records. That's fine. I don't want one. Here's one where it says, I went into the set system flag, and of course these are clickable links. If you want to click them and open that business rule, you can certainly do that. I'm going to shift click or command click in my case, open that up, and you can see the business rule behind that. Say, that's what I need to change to make it work. The next line says, I came out of that business rule. So these may, in fact, be very far apart. It goes into one business rule that triggers another business rule that triggers another one. So don't, when you're doing things like import sets and you check that box or uncheck that box that says run business rules, be aware of what business rules are being run for that and when. Okay, there's other ones down here. Those were the queries. Now we have incident query. Skipping user query. Here, this is what I want. Copy state to incident state. So there is a business rule. There's two fields. There's state and incident _ state. Why we have these two, I don't know. I think it's for legacy purposes where people wanted different states for incident than they did on task at one time. Suffice it to say, we didn't delete the field. There's also a problem _ state on the problem table that is local to that table. So you can't see incident state from task. But if you wanted to do a roll-up on all of these values, A, you would have to have consistent state values, and B, you would have to have the consistent, anyway, you'd be able to do that. Getting back to where I was going, I have a global business rule, copy state to incident state on this record. I know that it's happening on this record. And here is where I see that the incident state value changed from 1 to 6. So I'm actually getting a peek inside of what that business rule is doing to see what values are changing. Looking down a little further, I see that finished before query business rule. Here's one company projection starts up here, skips another business rule, changes the value, there's the society of the company, and then exits down here. So sometimes you got to look a little further apart for what's going on. Here is marked resolved. Look at all the stuff that marked resolved is doing behind the scenes. Sets the business duration, the business STC, whatever STC means, calendar duration, resolve that. Lots of things happening in that business rule that you might not otherwise have visibility to. You could also use the script debugger and step through these if you wanted to verify these are not the right values. Where did it get that from? Set a breakpoint in the business rule. So let's say I wanted to go into mark resolved. I click that. Go down to the advanced and say, you know what, before you get into this, scroll up a little bit. Let's set a breakpoint there. And then when I have the script debugger running, bring this back out. I'm going to make that a little smaller. I like the script debugger. This is one of the coolest things we added. Under System Diagnostic Script Debugger, I bring open a window and it says, hey, guess what? You've got a breakpoint set on this business rule. When that runs and the script debugger is up and running, I will stop here. And you can then step line by line or step into functions or do what you want to do to get that information. Very, very helpful for debugging that. Okay. Enough about debugging business rules. Did I reply to that? I did. I didn't ring the bell. Bottom of the hour. Let's see. Hello, Martin. Hello, Lieberger. Who else do we have? Please check my question, which I've sent through the Hangouts. Good morning. Sorry I missed it. Where's the JavaScript video is going to be published? JavaScript videos, not sure yet. More than likely to be on the ServiceNow Dev channel on YouTube. I think it's ServiceNow Dev Program is the user ID. JavaScript code coverage can also help in debugging. Yes. Yes, yes, you are correct. Let's see what else we have here. Just because I can't produce enough content, I come up with another video series. This man's crazy. There are other objectives that my boss wants me to do, but that is a strong desire and long overdue in my opinion. How can we add Create New Incident button on a list page in the service portal? Create New Incident button on a list page. Lists aren't going to have the UI actions that you want. You could create another widget and put it up above. So there aren't UI actions that you would expect here that you would normally see. Can anyone provide advice or steps on how to add a custom button to the list page for incidents? We would like to add a new button, Create New Incident, on the page below. Note, we do not want to activate the out-of-box new button because we want to redirect the custom button to the record producer instead of the default form. I would use a catalog widget to do that. I would use the catalog item widget to place a new widget for your record producer rather than customizing the out-of-box list widget. You can do this simply by configuring the list widget. I thought I had a, I do have an example. It's over on developer.servicenow.com underneath the CreatorCon sessions. We do this in the workshop lab, so search for Builder. If you're curious, there's a number of things that we have repurposed from Knowledge, CreatorCon, that are available on the developer portal. So go to developer, I think I mentioned this a few days ago, but go to developer.servicenow.com, and instead of the standard homepage, which comes up as app.do #bang/home, let me put that in a text editor so you can actually read it. Instead of this, change it to CreatorCon. Take that URL, paste it here, and you will have, it's not available from any menu. I don't know why, but it isn't. you will have access to the wonderful wealth of things we did at Knowledge. Now, not all of these labs are reproducible, say on a personal developer instance. There's going to be things around metric base, agent intelligence, that you need a supporting server on the background. You need your instance configured to talk to that server. That's going to be a different thing. But many of these you can do on your own. So I am going to look for Builder, and I have Builder Workshop Part 1, Part 2, and in Part 3, we have Add a Button to Service Portal. I'm going to use that as my reference. You can do this simply by configuring a new button widget, or what's the widget in that lab exercise? It was a change the scope, go to Service Portal Configuration, configure the widget, look for your page icon link. Button widget or icon link widget to point to your record producer. Here's an example I did for a workshop. Ting. Let's not put that there. That's terrible. Let's put that there. Better experience. Click links, not copy paste links. There's another one. In the toilet. I mean, in the... Display a specific survey when useful, no button. Asset intelligence on the roll. How to get requester name passed in email body and place that in the name of the requester field of our task. See what they're trying to do. I have a requirement to create a new inbound email action. I need to get the requester name passed in the email body and place that name in requester field of the R task. Requested for canal tipness, item, state. From the above example email body sent to ServiceNow, I need to get canal tipness and place that in the requester field. So the way you do that, and I know this is on the doc site, inbound email action. London. Let's look at, they haven't changed, so I'm just keeping the search results to a minimum. We have the ability to do action types, reply, new, attachments, character encoding, domain separation. It is inbound email action examples. Processing. Let's look at that page, and I want to look at that page next. So bringing up the tabs. That's the processing, and I thought that there was an example of what you can get out of the script. Prefixes, forwards as replies, matching sender to email address. Where is the section on variables? That's the reference watermark, matching record numbers. Yes, yes. A lot of good information in here. Accessing email object variables. An inbound email action contains email object variables. You can use the global variable sysemail with inbound email action. They're in here, they're in here, they're in here. I know they are. Integrate inbound events. Setting field values directly from the email body. That's what I'm looking for. So foo : bar, you can parse it apart. The space may be impacting you, but you can always do a trim or something around that. You can parse variables out of the email.body using information presented here. Oops. Again, link. I don't want to just click the link. On this page from our docs site. There we go. A little bit better. I probably should put the actual page name in, but it is what it is right now. You know what I could have done? Numbhead is go here and say create link HTML. Let's see what happens. I have this nice Google extension plugin that does that. Haha, 2 links to the same thing. That'll confuse them. Not that I'm about to cause confusion. I'm glad you're looking forward to that series. I'm looking forward to producing it. We just got a couple people reviewing it today. If they approve, we should see one going out today. The Intro to JavaScript. Learn. I changed the name, and I'm still stuck on the old name. It's Learn JavaScript. You know what? There. That's what the album art is going to be. Look for that. I know I said album art. That's a iTunes legacy thing. I do a lot of podcasts, so I got to keep up on what's your album art? What's the resolution? I call that my Peter Norton stance for you old timers that remember the Peter Norton books from the 80s. He had a pink shirt. I've got a green shirt. He didn't have a bow tie either. Where was I? It's 20 minutes to. I want to dig into something that was going on a couple of days ago. Somebody had this response about annotations. So somebody wanted to, the original thread was about adding links to annotations. And here is a link to a KB article. You can do that. You can do that. It's very easy to do. Somewhere in here there's a correct answer. But somebody came back and said, well, what if I want to use a variable? What if I want to use a field value to a different value? And I said, there's a good challenge. I don't know, and I want to find out. So I know a couple of things about annotations that aren't, I don't know if they're not documented, but they're pretty well taken care of. Let me first turn debugging off. Okay, debug, disable all, no more business rule debugging. Let's go to my CLS scope and CLS app. And under here, I'll go into the Chuck table of Chuck records. These are tasks. And add a field. Yeah, I don't necessarily need a field. Let's just get the, what would I get? A URL? Do I have a URL on here? I have a price, I have a currency, I have an item. I don't have a URL. Let's add a URL real quickly. So from form layout, I'm doing this in form layout for a reason, because it allows me to do some things to annotations that Form Designer doesn't. I'm going to create a simple URL field, and it will be called type URL. Let's add that. And I think the bottom of the section, no, let's put it at the top of this section. Top of the section, right there. Let's also add, can I add an annotation here? I can add an annotation. Wow, my sysadmin skills have slipped. Annotation is scroll down here on this side. Go get the annotation from here, move it over to this side, and move it to the, actually you could probably do this, they're looking for an annotation. Yeah? Huh. Okay, I'm going to put it right above the URL. I want to read this. In a related question, if you wanted a link for a specific knowledge article based on the record producer, how do I achieve this? I'm going to ignore the record producer part because the record producer is just going to create the record for you. Was this an annotation or was this a GS? This is a GS add info message. That's totally different. They wanted a link to the annotation. So in the annotation, this is a hard-coded version of what I was looking at, where you have an href. You can put HTML in there, but it has to be done through form layout. If you do this, Form Designer strips it out, makes it ugly. You can also run script in there. Haha. So this is not an annotation. That is an add info message. No, that is an annotation. Okay, we're going to do this as an annotation, see what happens. So, oops, that's my portal example. Let's go back to, don't know why I was looking at Flow Designer. That was yesterday. Let's go back here. We're going to do this with an annotation. Info box blue, HTML. And could you get, does it understand current? First, let's find that out. So let's do dollar curly brace, because if you do gs.getUserID, it will run that and show you that. You could do a gs.getInfo message and translate that. Okay. So let's first do this. This is a real simple example. I want to see if my user ID shows up as an annotation on that form. Step 1, start simple. Let's go back here and where'd my URL field go? My URL field has something in it, but it has no annotation. It is not working. I would like to get my money back for that. Configure form layout. Let's try that again. Go to my annotation. Still says gs.getUserID. Maybe this doesn't work anymore? I don't know. Or maybe it's JavaScript gs.getUserID. I don't think so. Let's find out. Save. Still nothing. I'd see it right there. Interesting. Did something change in the way that this used to work? This used to work. I'm telling you, I used to be able to put stuff in here. How about this? Let's put in something I know used to work. gs.addInfoMessage. Or excuse me, gs.getMessage. gs.getMessage. Hello, world. Okay, if we're going to take this basic, let's take this basic. And I'm waiting for somebody to say, hey, Chuck, did you check the logs? Did you create the JavaScript content in this YouTube channel? Do you create the JavaScript content on this YouTube channel? As far as the community channel, I don't create all of it. I create a daily live stream, and our Tech Now series goes in here. But a lot of the other stuff is created by wonderful other people. Okay, so where's my hello world message? This is where we go to the logs. Logs, I have a favorite for system logs, all. And I don't see it. There's nothing in here that's indicating a problem. Oh, type section, view null, sysform. Interesting. Is this my issue? It's just an info link. Not very informative. Interesting. Let's go back to that record and take that out and see if the error goes away. Configure. We're in uncharted waters here. Form layout. Take the annotation out. Save. Maybe my old trick isn't working anymore. Let's go to the log. It is now 6:47. No, I'm still getting that. There's something else. I don't like that form. I don't like that form. Let's go back to my CLS app. Let's pick something easier. I may have just beat up on that form too much that it's not working accurately for what I need. Try something real easy. At the top, configure, wait for it. That's slow computer. I can hear the hard drive running. That's not slow browser. Form layout. Let's put a URL field here on the item table. What did I hit? Don't know. Did I or did I not just reboot this machine? It feels really sluggish, like it needs to be rebooted. Make that a type URL. Add. Move that up so I can see it. Thank you, magic ghosting, scrolling, whatever it was. Does that happen to you? You're just about to click something and the browser scrolls at the last section, like a pop-up ad got added or something. Hate it when that happens. Trying to move quickly and get things done efficiently and it doesn't. Okay, so there's my URL field. Item blah. Configure. Form layout. I don't know how far I'm going to get on this. This is kind of fun. Let's go to annotation. All right, let's just hard code something in there. Info box blue. Hello world. I think most examples that I've seen have had a comma in there. And drum roll please. Why is there no annotation on this form? Oh! Toggle annotations on and off. That one's on me. I had annotations turned off on this instance for quite some time. Don't overlook the obvious. Okay, since we're here, we'll stay here. Hey, I didn't see anybody in the chat saying, did you check that? Come on, that's not all on me. I'm looking at you going, all right, where were your ideas? Nobody was raising their hand going, did you check that? We've all done it. We've all done it. Okay, back here, let's change this to dollar curly brace gs.get message hello world 2 1. Okay, 1 is good because I meant to hit the exclamation point anyway. And I need my curly brace on there to close that out. Yes, that's syntactically correct, as small as that little box is. Save it. And there's hello world 1. Okay, so scripting works in the dollar curly brace format. Let's change that up a little bit more. You know, it would be even easier. Let's go studio. Because I can have 2 windows working at the same time. 1 to test and 1 to play. 1 to develop and 1 to test. So back here, under the item table, we'll go to layout form. Stop scrolling. Layout form. And there's my annotation. Let's change this from gs.getMessage to do I need a JavaScript in here? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Let's do JavaScript. Try a different way. I don't know if that will work or not. We're going to find out. Reload. And it's the suspense that kills you. It did work. Interesting. It did work. I would not have expected that. Which means the JavaScript prefix will allow us to take the value. Let's put a value in here that says https www.amazon.com. Not an advertisement for Amazon. I just couldn't think of a URL other than Google fast enough. So that's that. Let's go back to layout form. Now, theoretically, we should be able to construct a link. Come on, mouse, don't fail me now. Let's see if it understands current. Let's just first do that. JavaScript current.getValue URL. Yes? Maybe? No? I don't know. That's how we find things out. We play around with them till they break. And then you scratch your head and go, is there another way I can approach this? Reload form. Annotation says, hey, I'm not opposed to doing this with configure. Oops, not that form layout. Downer. Layout form. Someone was just waiting for that one, weren't they? Go to the annotation, and now I could, let's see if it just understands. No, that. Let's make this easier on ourselves. There's a couple other things I want to try. Reload form. Do I still get my URL? Good. If you learned something new, click that like button. And still gives me the URL. There was a time when this was the only way you could do annotations. They got them a little bit smarter. Okay, so it understands the code in here. Theoretically, ahref, go shopping, oops, ahref, put that in there. It should run that between the codes to get the value. And then we can put go shopping that way. I'm going to copy and paste that in case it works. Yeah, such confidence, right? In case it works, I'll post it back into that response. So reload form. And of course, I probably want a target underscore blank in there to get it on a different page. Go shopping is a link to Amazon. You can see it from the link on the bottom. Otherwise, if I click it, Amazon refused to connect. Interesting. Let's make a more generic URL, like Google. I don't know. Is that going to be an issue? Or we could put it to a knowledge base article like they originally asked. Okay, so let's go back to layout form. You know what? I think this is going to bring up Form Designer, isn't it? Yeah, I don't want to do this in Form Designer. It gets a little persnickety when you're trying to do customized things like this. It's not as elegant. Why doesn't this work? First of all, let me put in the wish list part where I had, whoop, get it right, target equals underscore blank. You open up in a new window. Maybe it doesn't like to be put inside of frames, iframes, whatever we want to call them. I'm going to try that. Can I open up Amazon in another window? If I save that and reload this, riveting stuff, isn't it? And my annotation comes up, go shopping, ta-da. Okay, so you can open it in another window. I suspect it's just Amazon being persnickety about this. If I were to go to a knowledge base article and get the permalink, let's find one that actually has a permalink in it. Excel functionality, looks good. Boris, nice article. Down here on the bottom, copy permalink. I'll go back to my item record that I've been messing around with. Put that in. Come on. Finish on the end. That's why I turned annotations off. I was waiting for them to finish. And I am simply going to lop off the instance name so that it works in dev, test, and prod. Save that. Let's edit this one more time. Go down, 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 down. We're almost at the top of the hour, and I can feel success right around the corner. This is totally unscripted and not planned for show format content. Instead of go shopping, how about read article? Read the article. And we can put that in there. I'll bet that we don't need target underscore blank in there for a ServiceNow URL. Of course, URL validation is all up to you. If you put Amazon in there, it will fail. Let's reload that. And because if you just typed in the word current.getValue, it's going to put current.getValue in here. You need the link. Hey, I call that a success. And guess what? I forgot to copy that other link. So one more time into the maelstrom. Layout form. Annotation. Went right by it. Copy that. And I have my answer. The answer is yes, you can do this. Now I have to find the reply. Where was it? Where was it? From a record producer. Okay. Here's a way I did an annotation to present a link based on the value in the URL field. Adjust as necessary. Note, you must do this via form layout, not form designer. Ting. Hey, easier than I thought. Good discovery stuff. We had a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Annotations can be dynamic. You can include field values in there. I hadn't tried that. I had all the pieces up to that point. So there you go. Your annotation lesson for the day. And we answered that one. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching. Hope you found that interesting, entertaining, whatever it is. It's the top of the hour. I need to get going because the alarms are coming in and it's telling me that it's only 2 hours now until Tech Now starts. So hope to see you there. Go over to the bit.ly link. I'm just going to put that up one more time and get out of the way. There we are. TN59 Reg. You know what it is. Tech Now, number 59. REG for registration. And I look forward to seeing you there and look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. No show Thursday. I will be on a business trip in Santa Clara. I've got to go to an all-hands meeting, but it's a day trip, so I should be back Friday. And keep going as much as I can. Appreciate you hanging out with me and being here. Take care. Till tomorrow. Bye.